Yeah, so what are we going to talk about today? But I was thinking we should talk about you and me and what we're going to have for dinner. Because everything is just playing out the way that we were talking about. Basically since what, 2021? It's playing out exactly as we have been talking about. We're just going to turn off the fan here. And as we are seeing here, I believe, the bear market is over. I'm a little bit sad for blockchain bully there. I don't think we're going to see those 12,000. And it also looks like what we've been saying many times. You need to get the market leaders of tomorrow. We need to get DeFi, the big DeFi coins. I mean, just look at this today, right? If you just look at this little thing here today, bam, quickly. Just Ethereum hasn't moved, right? But look at Uniswap up 11. We got then. What have I been preaching for the last, I don't know, year? Curve, Aave, Compound, Synthetics, and Uniswap, of course. But Aave is up 19. We can see Curve is lagging behind. Probably will follow suit. Synthetics at $2.17 up 13%, and Compound. And you see, the funny thing is, this is all based on Ethereum. So Ethereum will follow suit. So that's why I'm saying that I think that I think that you and we should talk about what we're gonna have for dinner tonight. We will go over a few new news again, just to confirm that we are seeing this industry really taking off. Maybe have just a short chit chat about yesterday's trouble in Russia. And I was preparing for a second video before, and as I was preparing it, because I understand that in the Western media you don't get access to a lot of those real juicy small little videos from Telegram, and especially there was these the Chechen Kadyrivts soldiers that was actually heading towards to face the Wagners. But then as I was preparing that video, and then I saw that peace had been agreed upon and that the March of Justice had been postponed. Anyway, so I wanted to share that, but then we never got around to that. But in the end of the day, it was better that we had peace. What do you think about that thing in Russia yesterday? So let's start, because there's not much else we can do, and I think it goes a little something like... I want to welcome you to Crypto Never Sleeps. In case you're new to this channel and you want to stay on top of the crypto world, do me a favor, hit like, smash and subscribe and all them goodies, so that you can be notified every time we upload new videos, so that you can, and this is really important to me, protect your wealth, preserve your wealth, and ultimately increase your wealth. My name is Nico Arachi, and I'm the host of the littlest crypto channel on the interweb. Crypto channel. Anyway, so here we are. Here we're looking. We're looking. I don't think we need to look at those 4 charts today. Just also see. Are we seeing anything new here? No, it's 1 hour. It's always the same, right? They move like brothers and sisters. But what we can celebrate today is because it's Sunday, right? Sunday is a fun day. And it is especially fun when we can see that we have broken the 7-day moving average. I know we laugh a lot about it and people don't take it seriously. And it's not that I have so much belief in the 7-day moving average, but we can see that we have moved. We've broken through it. It's a breakthrough. It's a breakthrough. Let's have that one more time, huh? So we broke through. We can see here a big candle here, if anything, through the 7-day moving average. And this leads me to believe that if we're gonna, should look for a pattern here, we can see that we have had a few weeks below the 7-day moving average. Remember, this is the weekly. Now we really broke through it. Now, it wouldn't surprise me, of course, that we are going to have some retracement. But I really don't think that this is going to be anything out of the ordinary. Now, we're also going to have a little look here at the Wyckoff model, right? We try to look at that and compare. The only thing that Wyckoff basically saying, as you can see here, that the volume is very little, is basically that the demand should be bigger than supply. And I guess demand is bigger than supply, otherwise we wouldn't go up. But it is, of course, a little worrisome when we see this little amount of volume. But nevertheless, I mean, I really think that this is, I think we have broken through. Anyway, let's go and say hello to the chat before we go in and do some proper technical analysis, Like, I know that's why you all come here, for the technical analysis. So, who do we have here? Crypto Granny, good to see you. Wie geht's dir, mein Lieber? Und gibt's wieder Kekse oder Nutensprudel? Salona Puri is there. Good to see you. And we got Sandra. Sandra. Lots of love to you. And who else do we have? We have Johnny Gucci. I like, what an intro. I like when you are here. And Vax is here, my good friend. And we got Yas, CryptoBell. Good to see you. Dennis here as always. Panos. And Panos, if you stay until the end, I will tell you my dad's, my Father's Day first quote, because it's actually kind of funny. And we got my hello to our lawyer from Kiev, from Ukraine. He's doing a fantastic job. Thank you so much for being here, helping me get my boys back. Ansa Hamid is here, and Blockchain Betty is here. Where's Jerry? Ron Jeremy is here. I mean, I'm so happy to see. As long as Shahid, of course, my soul brother. And you're always right. Yeah, thank you. Crypto Ali is here, and DeFi coins. Yes, DeFi and Blockchain Bully. What do you say? You see, Blockchain Bully, he seems to be a man with the, he had a vision. We're going to, I mean, I don't know if I hope I didn't pose it on to you, that we were going to see the 12,000. I settled for 15. What do you say, Crypto Dachshund? Good to see you. And Daria. Okay, so remember, when timing the market is obviously always the most difficult thing that you can do, right? We know that. So, and we can, and history doesn't repeat, and it rhymes and all them goodies or whatever they say. But the problem is, let's go in here and look here. It's not really a problem. Remember, I always say timing the market is very difficult. And we saw here from, October 21 all the way down to 2023. Bear market. It was terrible, right? I mean, getting bored here. However, we were watching this slide here that has it almost becomes memorable here. Bitcoin's historical corrections, because it actually it actually kind of shows this pattern here, right? So we had the last 3 cycles, 14 months, 12 months, 12 months. However, the drawdowns were 85% in up 13, 15, and 17 to 18, 83%. And then in 21 to 22, we saw 77%. And this is where, you see, we have to both time it, and it will never be exactly the same. The only thing that's always the same is the volume on the cryptocurrencies. I mean, they're always the same, but okay. But usually that should, once we get a more efficient market, then that should not happen. Keep happening at least. No, so anyway, so this was how we were kind of trying to time the downtrend, the end of the bear market. And yes, based on the merit, I thought Bitcoin 12,000 by December 2022, and then probably we would have gotten the 81%. I didn't, whatever, but we stopped. It seems to me, Blockchain Bully would disagree here. I hope you have invested though. I kind of thought, okay, November, it's going to be the end. It's 12 months, 77% down, and we're turning around. So who cares now about the bear market, right? We want to know what's going on now with the bull market. And I've also shared this before. So here we have the 3 prior bull markets, we can say from 2010 to 2013. It actually took 1,399 days. And then from 2013 to 2017, it took 1,461 days. And then from 2017 to 2021, so from the bottom of the bear to the top of the bull, 1,431 days. So you can see it's pretty much the same. 14, let's say 1,400 days. So that's why that, this is just one indication. If we look here at that low in 2020, end of 2021/2022, if we give it around 1,430 days, and if we take into consideration by how much Bitcoin's price would always have increased compared to the past all-time high, approximately by 3 times. So I'm sure you can remember, right? So in 20, let's go over here for a second. You can see in 20, what was in 20? Let's go, we need to make it a little bigger here. 20,000 is what we then hit in 2017. And then times 3, and that takes us roughly to 60,000, roughly. So, I know, this is, whatever I say and do here should certainly not be considered financial advice. You know that, because I don't know shit about crypto. You know that. But nevertheless, it is an indication that we could potentially see Bitcoin somewhere between 200 and 250,000 by October 2025. And I think that's why I want to congratulate all of you who are here. All 20 lines of you. So let's move on to, I remember this is the Wyckoff model here. Now, I always think, I have spoken about this a little bit before, and you can also educate yourself about the accumulation phase from Wyckoff. So it's here, it's segregated into phase A, B, C, D, E, like we learn in school. But if you look at this accumulation phase, and if we jump into here, it really looks similar. Now, you can see here we got of course, also it's debatable what is. But if we compare here, we can see the phase C is basically where they have their low, and then from phase C into phase D and phase E continuing up. Now, to me, it kind of looks that we had the phase C was down here when we hit the 15. And then since then we have really, and it also fits here with the trading ranges not going below, and so the Wyckoff, I would say the Wyckoff accumulation schematic seems to be on track. So what does he say here? Let's see about, because phase, are we in phase D moving into E? Let's, I'll just read it quick and then you can also think about it. So the phase D is, if we are correct in our analysis, what should follow is the consistent dominance of demand over supply. This is evidenced by a pattern of advances on widening price spreads and increasing volume. We're not seeing the increasing volume yet. However, as well as reactions on smaller spreads and diminished volumes. During phase D, the price will move at least to the top of the trading range, and in the phase are generally excellent places to initiate or add to profitable long positions. So phase D should be, if this is the phase D, that we should, increase, top up, average in. And here in the Wyckoff phase E, control markup. Yeah, so what he's saying here, demand is in full control and the markup is obvious to everyone. I do think that we have left the bear market behind us, right? Should we, however, see setbacks such as shakeouts, are usually short-lived, new higher level trading range comprising both profit-taking and acquisition of additional coins. Reaccumulation by large operators can occur at any time in phase E. And these trading ranges are sometimes called stepping stones on the way to even higher price targets. So if we look here, and then, this is just trying to compare to his schematic, but if we look here at Bitcoin, I could imagine. I mean, I think it looks good. I think it looks. That's how I feel about it. Let me know how you feel about it. Maybe you feel different. So now, why not? We need to also look at some of the. Let me just think. Yeah, we also want to go through some news, but let's maybe first just run through what the market here is looking like, and I can actually even do that here. Let's do it here. What do we have? So we're still at almost 1.2 trillion in market cap. Bitcoin down, but I think we should actually look here more at the 7 days, right? Ethereum has not done a lot, but what I really like, and XRP, Cardano, Doge, it's like almost non-existent. Polygon, nothing, right? And then Polkadot 2% in number 13, not even away from the top 10. That's a little bit sad, but those dots will come. I believe they will come after. And we'll get back to that, what comes first. Bitcoin Cash has been dominating it. Let's actually go in and look at the last 7 days. This is probably more. Over the last 7 days, Serum, which is a DeFi platform on, if there's, on Solana, we're not the greatest believers in Solana, but both Serum and also Radium, I told you before, we have been holding them, especially Radium, for a while. And so we keep getting them, but we're more kind of like Ethereum investors. At least Betty always says we have to. Bitcoin Cash, you see, I think something is brewing there with Bitcoin Cash. I don't know if any of you got news. I haven't been able to look at that, but not bad. Then Centrifuge in the last 7 days. Centrifuge, remember, they are working more or less together with Aave, right? They're bringing real-world assets onto the blockchain, but that's the Polkadot ecosystem. We love that. And then we got, because I don't know, CardStarter, that's some gaming IGOs, but Compound 34 over the last, and Aave 31, and where else? And where do we have? And Synthetics. No, so it's a strong day. I guess it's a strong day when we look at Uniswap, Aave, Curve, and Synthetics. But I believe that this will. And this is actually, I'm talking always too slow, and what I believe, once we're going to see gradually the end of the bear market, as I believe we saw, we're going into the third cycle of the bull market. I believe money will first trickle in to Bitcoin, and then it will go into the top prime blue chip DeFi coins that will ultimately be the main liquidity decentralized exchanges of the Web3. And those are obviously Aave, Synthetics, Compound, Curve, Uniswap. And why do I say that? It is, if we go, I want to take you here and look. I believe that this will be the future settlement system when it comes to the CBDC. Kind of recapping a little, I think that the future is going to be that the Fed, they're going to, with the Fed Pay Now or whatever, they're going to launch, issue the CBDC, and then this circle you see in the middle should actually, show decentralized or these protocols that will overtake the current commercial banks that kind of will be obsolete, right? Traditional banking system fed to the commercial banks, lending banks, saving banks, and then they circulate it into the economy. I believe the future will look like this, fed to these decentralized protocols, and they will then circulate it into the economy. And therefore, I believe that these are the top coins. And as we could see here today, Uniswap, Curve, Aave, and there will be others, but we will talk about then when we do more streams. Then some other news that was kind of funny, not funny news, but other news that will keep confirming that I believe we are on the right track. I truly, truly believe, and it's exciting in a way. You all know IMF, right? You know the IMF sister, Kristalina. Because she's been busy. So let's watch here. She made a little interview. She was in Morocco at a high-level policy roundtable on central bank digital currencies, the role of public sector in money and payments, a new vision. Now, I believe that she doesn't have a clue. I don't even think she can spell to blockchain, but she tries. She tries. And yeah, just have a 37 little video of her wonderful speech in Morocco.
That if we are to be successful, CBDCs could not be fragmented national propositions. To have transactions more efficient and fairer, we need systems that connect countries. In other words, we need interoperability. And for this reason, at the IMF, we are working hard on the concept of a global CBDC platform to trade and to manage risks. And my colleague, Tobias Adrian, will talk more about it later.
Yeah, Tobias, he's gonna talk about them interoperable CBDCs later. I mean, you gotta love Sister Kristalina. Well, anyway, I think there's not so much more, we just see that all the big players, the World Bank, the IMF, the Bank for International Settlement, and even Morocco, they are all convinced that the CBDC and a great platform and everything is great. Yeah, if you want to read more on that you should. I mean, I think this is just a continuation of the elite wanting to dominate via control how we, the little people, will spend our money. But nevertheless, we're here to make money, so we should not complain too much. There's been some other news here. This is just crypto has a new rescuer, Wall Street. And I think you all know what we're talking about, right? Some of the biggest names in finance are making new bets. I mean, first of all, it's always good when we see it in mainstream. And I think we're going to see cryptocurrency much more in the mainstream. Just before we go to Yahoo Finance, look at this, CNBC. Okay, I don't have Pro, but Bitcoin rallies 17% this week as institutional interest in the asset picks up. Remember, I always told you, the psychology, the West, obviously the mainstream media is nothing else than the cheerleaders for the people that are manipulating the market, you could kind of say. So that's why it's a good indicator. Once the mainstream, they start with this and making retail, smaller investors hungry, or let's say eager to participate. Good news. Good news. Anyway, so back here to some of the biggest names. So here we go. As we all know, we spoke about last week, the world's largest money manager, BlackRock, wants to start a new exchange-traded fund. We talked about that. But one of the world's biggest hedge funds, Citadel Securities, is backing a new cryptocurrency exchange along with Fidelity Investments and Charles Schwab, two other sizable money managers. So those probably the ones from the traditional, let's say, establishment that will survive. I don't think this next one. And one of the world's biggest lenders, Deutsche Bank, wants to operate a crypto custody business that would hold digital assets for its clients. I don't think anybody wants anything to do with Deutsche Bank. And besides that, Mellon already took, I think it's Mellon, they already took that role of becoming, let's say, the trusted traditional banking giant that will take care of custody. I don't think nobody needs Deutsche Bank anymore, I think. But we're not talking about the traditional players. These endorsements from institutions that have a track record on Wall Street are helping to push the value of cryptocurrencies higher, especially Bitcoin. I think this is very true. And yeah, that's about, here we go, rising peril. This new interest from mainstream financial institutions comes at a time of rising peril for an industry that struggled to regain its footing following the 2022 implosion of cryptocurrency exchange FTX and the regulatory crackdown that followed. It's always funny. I've also, if you follow me a little bit, I always say that the mainstream press, I mean, they don't know shit about nothing. I mean, they just pump something out and to make it sound like, yeah, it was FTX and the regulatory, that's why we went down in 2022 the entire year and eat that, and that's it. okay, we read it because that is what mainstream people, the pigeons, the sheep, they're gonna read, and ultimately we want everybody to put the money in so we can go to the moon, right? But yeah, anyway, while it's all being manipulated, right? But okay, they need to make a story so it looks as if. The Securities and Exchange Commission earlier this month filed lawsuits against the biggest crypto exchange in the US and the world, Coinbase and Binance, alleging they both allow digital currency to trade on their platforms that should have been registered with the agency. Blah, 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 blah. But it is then wonderful that Coinbase and Binance, right, we don't know if they should keep doing what they're doing, but it's okay if Citadel and Fidelity and Charles Schwab, if they're going to set up a new exchange or whatever, then it's good because they're traditional. They know that they protect your wealth and my wealth in a way that nobody else does. By the way, a shitcoin. If you saw Ivan on Tech today, I really have to say, I always refer to the current fiat system as the fraudulent monetary system. But in reality, those are the biggest shitcoins in the world. Is the fiat currency that we have today around the world. But nevertheless, that was a little on a side note. What is interesting is that Fidelity really seems to be stepping it up, and there's even talks that Fidelity, this is like a week ago even though, so you might have seen it, Fidelity rumored to file Bitcoin spot ETF in US bid for grayscale. So it seems like that Fidelity is trying to perhaps buy Grayscale, as I don't know if you know, but Grayscale has already been applying for the first Bitcoin exchange traded fund, and still waiting for approval. But so it could be that Fidelity will buy them, nevertheless, and then they could be the first. But just imagine, if Fidelity is going to buy Grayscale, and then the SEC, because they like Fidelity and they like BlackRock, and they're more or less both at the same time going to launch a Bitcoin ETF. Well, I don't know what to say. Hallelujah. And that's all I got to say about everything today. Nothing more. And I think we should make it quick, right? So if there's any questions, then let me know. If there are no questions, then I finally see if there's no questions, then that was it for today. It was funny. Okay, Panas, I liked it with the yeah, so thank you everybody for watching, and then see you tomorrow. No, so regarding the Father Days quote, the first quote from my dad that I learned, that he, not the first quote, but one that he would use often, was that if a lady, any kind of lady, if she is in need, she will learn to dance naked. Now, it's actually a very, very old saying from Denmark, very, very old. And basically what it means is that in a very not so nice way is, every woman is a whore except for mama, especially if she needs money. Anyway, guys, there's a little bit more of the funny ones. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you hopefully tomorrow. Stay strong, and please keep Sister Kristalina in your prayers, because she only wants the best. She wants those lovely, lovely CBDCs.